I found a, because Frank and I like to talk about Torah codes a lot, Bible codes, Torah codes. I found one. There's a. If you guys could look it up on YouTube, I'll post it later. The Vayechi Torah codes. Vayechi is a particular parsha. I think this week's parsha. This week's or next week's. I can't remember if it was Vayechi or it was, or maybe it's Miketz this parsha. Kitzer, the Torah codes specifically talk about, it's this gentleman he found, a Jewish guy, Orthodox Jewish guy, he found information about something that might happen in December with respect to sorry guys, I think I see a drone. I'm not sure if it's a plane or a drone. But anyway, something that might happen with respect to the border and with respect to some of these fine folks that came over the border. One sec, folks. I'm just trying to figure out if this is a drone or a plane. Fine folks that came over the border in the last few years. And the Torah code, I don't want to scare you guys too much, but it talks about something big happening. And, something to the point where, the stuff might be shut down. That is a drone, my friends, I believe. Unless it's just up high and it's a plane, it looks like it's moving slow. But I'm really not sure. Not sure, and you can't really see. Let's see, let's film it. There it is. You can't really tell here. It might be a plane. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter at this point. I mean, it doesn't, but it doesn't. So anyway, guys. So, yeah, so he made this Torah code and it was talking about some stuff happening on the border. A big event. Again, I don't want to scare you guys up too much, but, a big event. Let's put it that way. And we would experience, it's something to do with radiation, and we would experience lockdowns and all the rest of it. He was talking about it happening in the month of Heshvan, right? The end of November, which already passed. It's about a month ago. We're right in the month of Kislev, right? Almost in Tevet, because we're in Hanukkah. So, but I think this might be connected to it. Whatever we were seeing with these drones and also with these orbs, it might be connected to it. And by the way, guys, everybody thinks it's funny or thinks it's stupid or thinks it's crazy that, Trump is talking about, taking back the Panama Canal. Guys, this whole thing is not just about the Panama Canal. That's not what this is about. I mean, it is about that, but it's also about what the Panama Canal allows us to control, which is what? It allows us to control, allows America to control something called the Darien Gap, guys. The Darien Gap, what is it? It is the passageway in the jungle in Panama where, let's say, if you're, speaking of big events on the border, if you're a Hezbollah operative, agent, whomever, in South America, coming mostly from Venezuela and other places, you will pass through the Darien Gap in Panama, and you'll walk all the way through Central America, all the way through Mexico, and into Texas. If you are ISIS, a person who, sympathizes with either group, you'll go through Darien Gap, guys, and this is something that nobody's talking about. And, I'm not surprised because Trump doesn't want to give away the cards, so to speak. But I'll tell you this. And by the way, guys, yeah, all these Chinese nationals have been coming over. We have a Chinese army controlling that area. And, I just saw that guy, I don't remember his name, Jenkins, I want to say, the guy, he's a conservative guy who appears on CNN. And they asked him, like, what is your thinking about this whole thing? Aren't you afraid to, like, upset Panama or upset China or this? He said, listen, guys, this is insane. We have Chinese army here, and then there's people coming over the border, and we need to assert dominance in the region. But it's not about Davka dominance for its own sake. It's about this Darien Gap issue. I'm telling you guys. And the minute we can, plug that up, right away you're gonna see a completely different situation on the border, right? Completely different. Because anybody coming through that area, Panama Canal, across the canal, through the jungle, whatever, when it opens, when it closes, game over for these people, right? The party's over the minute you control that. Because we know the president of Panama, he can say whatever he wants, but he's been letting those people in, he's been letting everybody through that place, that area, right? Called the Darien Gap, Darien Gap, Gap. Guys, people just walk through. They walk in the jungle, treacherous area. So anyway, guys, so I just wanted to mention that. And yeah, it's all connected. This whole thing is connected to the Darien Gap. It's all connected to the fact that Iran right now, as I mentioned in a few other videos, is a cornered animal. It's funny now in Israel, they're making all kinds of jokes about the Houthis. Why? Meaning it's not a joke. The Houthis are firing rockets at Tel Aviv, but the reason we can make jokes about them is, why? Because we're about to destroy them. Just like we destroyed Hezbollah, largely, just like we destroyed Hamas, just like we, just how we basically paved the way for Assad to be removed without us lifting a finger, without Israel lifting a finger. And now there's, Israeli soldiers lighting candles in Syria, Hanukkah candles for the first time in, folks, I don't know how many years. Maybe 2,000, maybe 2,100 years. Isn't that wacky? Wow, we're living in history. Anyway, guys, so it's all connected. The Panama thing, even the Canada thing is connected because, we're talking about, I mentioned this before. I don't know what the new term for it is, but let's call it NAFTA, right? Or whatever the new NAFTA is, right? Old NAFTA, new NAFTA, doesn't matter. Or what do they call it? Canamex, Canada, America, Mexico, right? So the next World Cup is supposed to be hosted by, in tandem by Canada, America, and Mexico to 2026, guys. And that's when Trump wants to celebrate simultaneously. He wants to do his 250-year anniversary of America 250, right? So, again, he's talking about, making Canada a state or some kind of a territory. Folks, you're laughing. This ain't funny. Meaning, when I say this ain't funny, it doesn't mean I'm against it or I'm scared by it. I mean, it means that when Trump says something, even if it sounds funny, or even if he's like trolling someone, it doesn't mean he's not partially serious, or it doesn't mean that he may not do it. He might just do it, guys. So yeah, guys, a lot of stuff happening. Guys, I've been watching. Speaking of Band-Aid or Live Aid, I was watching the Queen, Freddie Mercury's performance of Live Aid, and there's a song, one of the songs he sang by Queen called "Hammer to Fall." I'm telling you, listen to that song, listen to the lyrics. It's all about Trump. You hear no bell, but you answer the call. You don't waste no time at all. You hear no bell, but you answer the call. Meaning, like, you don't even have to tell him. He doesn't waste time. You ain't got to tell him. There is no bell. He answers the call. He just does what he needs to do. He doesn't waste any time, guys. Rock and roll, You know, so every time I hear that song, I think of Trump. I think that's Trump's theme song, Hammer to Fall. And guys, I'll tell you, in less than a month, what's today, the 26th, 27th? In 3 weeks, guys, a little over 3 weeks. Oh my God, the hammer that's going to fall on these people, barring any kind of snafu. I mean, you have no idea. They have no idea, you have no idea. And, B'ezrat Hashem, everything should be okay, and, you know, everybody should be safe, and, you know, those Torah codes, guys, it's not always, not everything is written in stone. Not always everything is written in stone with regards to these Torah codes. Everything, a lot depends on people's, you know, actions and free will and spiritual actions and behavior, and how we are with each other, how we are towards Hashem. So, I'm not just talking about Jewish people, just everybody, really. So, you know, sometimes Hashem can have rachamim on us, and I hope He does. Because there's a lot of not so nice people that want to do a lot of not so nice things to America and also to Israel, to the world. So, B'ezrat Hashem, everything should be okay. Just looking up at the sky. There's not a lot of activity here tonight, but I don't know. It seems like where I'm not, there's always activity. The Bronx, other parts of Jersey, but here all I see is stars, and Baruch Hashem. All we see is stars. Alright guys, Shabbat Shalom.